through the life cycle of what we have learned, we have much stronger conviction about what Anil said, what others are saying about, yes, EVs are here to stay, EVs have already come. Now, how does this happen? How does this conviction happen? And behind that, how does the investments do happen? I can take you to that. For example, like till lately, we were trying to decode how to get the volumes out of my two-wheelers, and it was so difficult. I had 280 dealers, and all of them were crying hoarse of making losses continuously for 4 or 5 years. And many of them were saying, we'll shut shop next year if we don't make money out of it, but continuing because of the brand heroes, perhaps. But then we did an experiment of something like 10-15 nodes in the country. When we introduced our lithium battery products, which were in fact the products which should have been introduced much back, because before that were lead batteries, low speed products, which were creating more negativity into the customer's mind and creating a vicious atmosphere about electric mobility. So when we introduced lithium, we thought it will not sell, because the prices were something like 1.5 to 1.6 times of an equivalent Activa or a Jupiter or a Pleasure, like around 90,000 rupees, for example, in the south and 80,000 in Delhi, as against 50,000 of Activas and Jupiters. And it really was a tough task for the first 3 or 4 months when we tried to sell these products, because people would walk in, they would easily get convinced that when they are buying this product, they are getting a 5 years fuel-free type of a no petrol required, which comes to around 1 lakh of rupees. Simple, a liter a day, 1600 days is 1 lakh. Less charging costs of 20,000, but add back 20,000 of savings in service and maintenance is 1 lakh. So very convincing, but yet there were not many on the road. The first thing they would ask us, do we have reference? Are there some people using it? So how can I get the confidence that what you are saying is right? So what we did was that we took it as a mission to sell the first 100 from a dealer, or first 50 from a dealer, depending on B and C stations. And that's somehow not reducing or discounting, but maybe financing. But more of it was convincing, hand-holding, even after sale, making him as a relationship, that we are there, we'll take it back, don't worry, try it out. And it took us 6 months to create that island in which the lead battery scooters stopped selling. And those 15 dealers have told us that how the business can happen when 90-95% products are now lithium products. The customers, they talk to each other because they have tasted the product for 6 months. And now they are saying, yes, if you want to buy electric scooter, go buy only lithium battery scooter. And because it is lithium battery scooter, go buy Hero only. So that's the type of seeding that we have discovered out over there. And that's what we were longing to do before we invest into manufacturing. Because nobody has deep pockets except big wigs here who can invest with a question mark in mind, uncertainty in mind, that fine, even if it doesn't happen, my 1,000 crores will go down the drain. There are not many people around that. We all invest thinking that there will be a business, thinking there will be clarity of policy, thinking that we have crossed the threshold of suspicion or uncertainties in the business and our money will not be wasted or down the drain. So that, how does it come? It comes out of not a big success in the market, but small seedings which tell you that yes, we have decoded the formula of creating a business sense out of it. And behind that you get the confidence of either doing it yourself or others to jump into and convincing them to do it. We have been trying hard for the last 4 or 5 years for battery makers, the Exides and everybody of the world, because we are the largest two-wheeler seller. We are 65% market shareholder. But they would come, they would discuss and then go back and say, no, the volumes are not there yet. And now, the last 6 months, 8 months, we are getting people in queue and lines who are trying to compete on prices with China, on lithium batteries. So that is the type of perhaps environmental confidence the industry should have. And there are 3 factors in that. One of them, like Anil told, he has said vehemently, EVs are here to stay. In fact, yesterday I was with the Japanese team and I've been working all my life with Hondas and Yamahas, so I've been always closely associated with them. And one thing that I remember, I would remember always what they said. This MD said that I like you, Mr. Modi, very much. I really love him. I said, what happened here? Why especially you are saying you like him so much? He says, he just suddenly comes up and says something, Swachh Bharat or electric mobility or something with so much of conviction. And he declares it out of the blue. And he sort of is so convinced about what he says. He says, my Prime Minister would take 6 months of calculations, ages, everybody working at the back, and then also say, can I say it or not can I say it? So, and perhaps this leads to people falling in line in India, in a democratic country. So, I really felt good at that point of time, because earlier I had always the thinking that when somebody in the policy making is saying, like Mr. Gadkari is saying, or Anil is saying, or somebody is saying about EVs, are they not realizing that there are so many of pitfalls around here? Are they not realizing the environment is not right enough? But perhaps the outsiders know more than us that yes, one thing that must be done is at least we speak like that. We speak with oneness of purpose that yes, EVs are here to stay, they will have to be there, so that there are some doubts or fence-sitters who fall in line and start thinking rightly about it. So in summary, I think the environment has come as far as some categories of EVs are concerned. For example, two-wheelers have tasted the time, they have tested the weather, and now is the time when anybody who wants to invest really in two-wheelers in a big way, he is not going to repent about electric mobility, for sure. And once this starts, the supply chain is common, right from a mineral, metal, to a motor, to a controller, to a computer, the supply chain is common. So somebody has to start, and perhaps the start point has to be either three-wheelers or two-wheelers. E-rickshaws are, because of so much ups and downs, are still disorganized. Perhaps they may not continue as a manufacturing base other than an aggregation base for some time. But two-wheelers surely are going to be starting point, green shoots for any manufacturing setup in India. And I firmly believe that in around 1 or 2 years from time, you will have huge investments in two-wheelers, if not at all already being planned on the manufacturing side also. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm from TVS, so one of the key manufacturers in India for two-wheelers and three-wheelers. And whenever we and Surinder meet in many meetings, it's his customer or my customer. So I keep them pouring petrol into the vehicle long enough, so we grow at more than double digits every year. The so-called conventional petrol-driven vehicles. And so the way to convince them is the way the vehicles are marketed as a personal tools for mobility. It's a thing for youngsters. It connects with them in style and things like that. So this market we have grown into a gigantic one. We overtook everybody in the world. We are number one in the world in the two-wheeler business. And we consume gobble up fuel like anything. I think we consume the petrol. If I'm not wrong, it's more than 60% of the entire country's petrol goes into two-wheeler tanks, or 100 rupees at a time. So, but it's a numbers game what we manage, and we are very happy to do that. We do it at very, very affordable cost. The secret of the entire two-wheeler industry in India is about the operating cost and the cost of acquisition. If you look at the pricing of these vehicles for the last 15 years, they are flat. Correct for material increase, commodity increase, and the technology increase. We have gone from BS1, 2, 3, 4, we are going to suddenly go into 6. The price of the vehicles remains around $800. How did we do it? We did it with a very, very different methodology. This is what we are going to do in electric when we move there. And the components, when we look at the BS6, the components that we use is going to be very similar to four-wheeler fuel injected. We are carbureted today. But we use the components at 1/4 to 1/8 the cost of a four-wheeler component. Critical component. There's a component which measures the position of an engine in a car to control the fueling, and we have the same part which is already there in our 20 million vehicles. I buy at less than $1/2, and the four-wheeler teams buy at $4 to $6. This is where the two-wheeler industry's strength lies. We have our own solutions. Most of the parts, 99.99% of the parts are Indian, and except the semiconductors today. And this is what makes this industry interesting place and a built-in part of ideas. And an electric thing is seen as an outside thing till now, but currently we are all getting aligned, as Surinder said. It's an exciting time for us in the industry. as we move from traditional engine-based technology into an electric mobility era, without losing that connect to a customer. There's a fun in driving an Apache. We are slated for launch of an Apache 310 in few days. There are teasers all around, but that excitement of going at 100 plus kilometers in a bike with hopefully the helmet, and it's fun. That fun element to retain in electric mobility, and somebody who's using it as a vehicle, if you take our moped which carries 100 kilos of agricultural produce from his village, from the harvest to the market next village, at a cost which is unbelievable today. Can he do it with an electric vehicle with the same way? Look at a three-wheeler in rural settings in India. 14, 15 people go in a vehicle designed for three people, certified for 3 people. And we are not able to convince them that anything more than 3 you can't use, but they use 13. Yeah, I've counted 16 in my three-wheeler in some parts of the country. Electric mobility there with a battery and motor and this thermal. Yes, there are challenges, there are dreams, there is alignment to, we know that $85 billion, and I also look at, our friend from Invest India said, are we going to become a petrol importing nation to a battery importing nation? Are we going to move in one, replace it with the other one? So we don't want to do that in the two-wheeler industry. We want ecosystems to be at a frugal cost, so the customer remains within that. It's my dream to see an electric two-wheeler with a lithium battery around $1,000, which performs same as Activa, accelerates at the same speed, has the same top speed, and has all the fun element of the vehicle retained, not compromised. So that's a day where the mobility takes without any incentives, without any subsidies, without any intervention from any source. That's my opening remarks. Thank you.
Jarvis, you're holding the mic, so maybe you can already answer my first question. You're one of the largest two-wheeler makers. Also, you make three-wheelers. Do you see how, and you also just explained that a large part of the component base is already localized. So specifically from a manufacturing perspective, could you share some thoughts on how are you transitioning to electric vehicles?
So I think we have a huge ecosystem. Each of the manufacturers, if you see the top manufacturers, Hero, TVS, Bajaj, Honda, and Yamaha, all of us have our own component ecosystems. We share some of the component suppliers with each others, but 90% they are exclusive to each one of us. We have them as a group. Something like 60-70% of our components come from an exclusive set of suppliers, and same thing for the rest of the manufacturers. So this about 20 component suppliers for each of us, the top 5, about 100 manufacturers. They're all good medium-sized companies today. Now the challenge is to move them. The challenge is not TVS moving, Bajaj moving, Hero moving, Honda moving. We have enough things to move in this direction without a disruption. To our operating systems in the company of making an engine versus making a battery pack, making our normal frame versus a lightweight frame for an electric vehicle, or a normal part to an electric vehicle part, a normal cooling system to a battery cooling system. They're all possible for an OE to do. But my supplier who's supplying me my ignition unit or an ECU, will he be able to supply the same numbers of power electronic module for a 3 kilowatt motor, a 5 kilowatt motor, a 1 kilowatt charger, or rest of the parts, a current generator and a starter motor supplier who's going to lose the 100% business? Is he going to make a 3 kilowatt motor with an Indian magnet or a magnetless motor? That's a challenge. So we are working with them. All of them are aware of this. ACMA is very actively involved in these activities, and so that's the backbone of the industry. We win because they win. The entire two-wheeler industry is successful because the supply chain is very successful and very local, very responsive, and invested a lot over the period of years to support us in our volumes. Our volumes are maddening volumes. We produce something like together 40-50,000 vehicles a day. It's unbelievable if you calculate in the number of seconds, number of vehicles coming out in the Indian two-wheeler industry. The suppliers are doing the same thing. You go to a wire harness supplier, they produce 50,000 harness a day, 30,000 harness a day. and each with something like 80, 90 connectors. It's a challenge, but we are there to meet, and I think our ecosystem will learn. The main aim is to now educate them, support them, wherever there's a technology gaps, making them understand it, handling a lithium battery, lithium BMS. We have new set of suppliers coming in, but the existing system is the key to our success, key to our cost controls, key to our innovations. We would like them to migrate successfully along with us this journey of petrol to an EV in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's our effort, and all of us are putting effort together to make this happen.
Thank you. Manoj, the government or the GST Council made the rates for EV at 12%. ESL recently came out with a tender for 10,000 vehicles, and I'm told the next one is coming up quite soon. There's already a high amount of renewable energy installations coming in. What, from your perspective, should the government do more? And we also just heard Anil talk about what they're doing, and he basically said, don't expect freebies. So, what do you think the requirements are towards the government or policy?
Sure.
Specifically manufacturing.
Sure, definitely. Just quickly close on Mr. Javed's comments. I think it's lovely to see the confidence in OEMs. And he brought out the right point, which I was trying to stress earlier. We are not as worried about OEMs. They'll manage. They're assemblers. They bring in technology, they bring integration. The worry lies in component manufacturing, where most of the jobs also are. Out of the 30 million jobs in the ecosystem, probably 70 to 80% are in component manufacturing. And as he mentioned, what will an exhaust guy do? There's no, so that's where the challenge really lies. Now coming back to your question, I think government has actually taken the first step. GST at 12% is a very encouraging step. It came just 6 months back, but I think it sets the right direction. What I would expect more from the government is some visibility into incentives. Which means, okay, is GST going to be 12% for this year only, or for next 3 years, or for next 5 years? Also on the other incentives, he did mention there will be no freebies, but I think the traditional incentives will be there, which exist for most industries. So we have FAME, for example. FAME currently incentivizes, it's a demand side incentive, I may call it. OEMs get it when they sell the vehicle. I think we have to reevaluate whether if we continue with a FAME-like subsidy, who should get it? Should it not be made a supply side subsidy, wherein component manufacturers